Yo, what's up guys, it's Sammy here, and today I'm going to do something a little bit different to some of the other videos that you might see on this channel, and it's going to be an exact step-by-step guide of how I took my client Daniel Green from 0 to 5k a month in revenue in under 100 days using the digital influence method. It's going to be ram-packed with value, lots of stuff you can take away and implement yourselves, and I'm really looking forward to getting started. So let's get into it, shall we? Okay, so here's how we took a burnt out, stressed, overworked 9-to-5er to £5,000 a month in 100 days using the digital influence method. This was without him having to spend more than 90 minutes a day on his business. Here's a little WhatsApp conversation I had with Daniel. I was like, hey, how's it going, man? It's been 6 weeks since our last call. I've seen the channel absolutely skyrocket in growth. And he messaged me back saying he just had his first £5,000 a month. And this was all with just one product. The last couple of days have been insane. And you've taught us well, man. I was like, amazing, man. Congratulations. And we're going to go for 7 on the next one. He didn't quite hit that 7, and I'll show you that in a second. So this was his revenue in month 2, February to March, just under 2 grand there. And then you can see here in March to April, the £5,127. In month 4, he was going for that 7k, but he just missed out. So he got £6,337. Nothing to be sniffed at. That's like 72,000 pounds a year, 72,500 pounds a year after 4 months of running through this. So month 1, we were growing the channel. He then had his little first launch, scaled that month 3, kept scaling month 4, and then month 5, he's projecting 7.5. You can see which way this is going. He should hit 10k a month very, very soon, which is incredible. Absolutely incredible. So who is this for? People who may be burnt out, career plateau, tired of working for someone else's dream, and are interested in leaving their 9-to-5 and want to scale a business up on the side with the goal of quitting in the next 6 to 9 months. It could also be for entrepreneurs or existing creators looking to scale and add new revenue streams, or stay-at-home mums that want to kickstart a business while they have a little bit of extra time on their hands. This method I'm about to teach you is for people who are extremely busy, that haven't got hours a day to spare to grow a new or existing business. The digital influence method is a proven framework that allows you to scale an online business to a minimum of £5,000 a month in 6 months or less. It allows you to work from anywhere with true time freedom, with nothing but a smartphone, laptop, and an internet connection. If you're sick and tired of watching people making absolute bank online while you're sitting with skills that you can use, but you don't know how to put them to work, this is for you. If you've tried making money online in other ways and ended up listening to gurus who actually end up making more money selling you the thing than actually doing it themselves, then this is for you. If you've tried creating content but cannot get it to scale or to convert into actual pounds, then this is for you. If you know you have the potential to unlock the best version of yourself, but you just need the guidance and accountability to get there, then this is 100% for you. But who is this not for? If you're looking for a get-rich-quick scheme or some loophole to game the system and don't want to use a proven method to grow a real business, then this is not for you. If you're not willing to allocate a minimum of 90 minutes a day towards creating something that could change your life in a few months' time, then this is not for you. If you're looking to keep trying to make money in the old, much harder ways instead of trying a new proven system, then this is not for you. And if you don't believe that you can reach the ultimate version of yourself and build something that you're truly proud of, then this is not for you either, guys. Okay. So here's the truth about making money with digital products that nobody will tell you. You can absolutely replace your income with digital products and be making money with relatively low startup costs, without marketing degrees, without being even good on camera as well. That's massively important. And without spending hours a day trying to grow an account. However, most of you aren't capable of doing it because you don't fundamentally understand that. It's not about followers, likes, and comments anymore. It's about targeting the right audience with the right message. It's not about the quantity of content, it's about the quality. And it's not about serving everyone in your niche, it's about serving the perfect ideal customer. Now, on the flip side, people don't understand how easy it is to get sales when you have these systems absolutely nailed down. Too many people think, hey, I'm just going to try and figure it out along the way and start posting content that's too broad and attracts the wrong crowd. But don't worry, I'm not going to let that happen to you. With the digital influence method that I'm going to run you through today, we make sure we're hitting our exact ideal customer from day one. So limiting beliefs that stop you progressing. You might be wondering how on earth you're going to create £5,000 a month in profit when you've barely made content before or perhaps have no track record. Well, luckily for you, there are literally millions of profitable niches out there that are underserved. And digital products as an industry is set to grow from 194 billion to 1.2 trillion in the next 4 years. Just look at that growth. There are 1.4 billion Instagram users, give or take, and a billion TikTok users, give or take, literally waiting for you to serve them. So instead of shooting in the dark and praying something comes up, what if you had the right pathway that actually allowed you to reach them? And if you want to make this happen and finally create a business you're proud of in a niche that you love, here's exactly what we're going to go through today. Okay, so we're going to show you how to navigate some of the issues that we've mentioned already, how I helped Daniel scale to £5,000 a month in just 100 days of working together, and how you can use the digital influence method to kickstart your own journey, and how to do all of this with just 90 minutes a day creating content in a niche that you're already passionate about, but you just don't know it yet. Okay. First off, who am I? I'm an award-winning content creator. That was me a couple of weeks ago, won Best Money Content Creator of the Year award at the British Banking Awards. I have over 100 million views across all of my social media accounts and 150,000 followers. I have an online community of 30,000 people and have been featured in the Times, Mail, Metro, Sun, and Metro. And you can see here, this is me in some of the papers talking about debt, talking about saving money, talking about growing things, talking about side hustles, building businesses, lots of different things they come to me for. But look, this wasn't always the case, guys. So I was actually deep in debt in my 20s. I actually knew very little about personal finance. I was very much a like keeping up the Joneses type guy, had credit card debt. I was in a really bad cycle of credit card debt up to £24,000 after university. I was actually doing really well though in my work. So I went into marketing for hospitality businesses and digital tech startups, but I ended up moving up the ranks quite quickly. I became one of the youngest heads of marketing at 25. And I ended up being a director of marketing and going into business with a few friends. But I really didn't care about it as much. I didn't have that true love for it. I was good at it, but I didn't really love it. And I was burnt out. I was constantly stressed. I was managing big teams who equally didn't care about the mission, because often hospitality is actually a starting step for a lot of people to go into other industries. I was working paycheck to paycheck. I was wondering when I was actually going to get a break from this. Like, how was I actually going to get a leg up? And when I was working just to work. Every day felt like a Groundhog Day. I was getting up, jumping on the train, going in, coming home, going out after work. I just kind of had this kind of like same thing happening over and over. And the thing is, because it wasn't solely my company, I lacked the creative freedom to actually express myself in the way that I wanted to do and help the people that I knew needed it. And I wasn't in control. I was working alongside two majority owner business partners that had the final say. Then in 2021, I broke out and I went on to do my own thing. Now, Up the Gains, my platform, is a financial education business, giving people the tools to start businesses, invest, make money through side hustles, basically everything that we should have been taught in schools, but as we all know, we wasn't. And so far, I've reached millions of people and have hundreds of students learning how to start their online businesses. And my business last month did more in a month than I used to get in a whole year. So it is possible, guys. But when it came to making money online, I tried everything you could think of. And the thing is, I had a podcast. I was running so many other areas of my business, YouTube. I was building out a massive website with over 300 guides on it, and everything needed a PhD or literally just took years to work. And people don't have that time. And I didn't have much extra time as a result. So my social channels, which I was trying to grow, I was doing 1 or 2 videos here or there because I was really focusing on other areas of the business. And it wasn't growing how it needed to. But I was starting to notice how more and more people were starting Instagram and TikTok pages and actually building them up to thousands of pounds in revenue in just a few weeks. I couldn't let this opportunity pass me by, putting my marketing hat on. I went to work. So I finally decided to take my social media seriously because I was like, I want a piece of this pie. I said, I need to put 90 minutes a day into creating content for my social media. And what happened? I went from 5,000 followers in the end of December, early January, to 110,000 followers in just 90 days in one of the most competitive niches on the entire internet in personal finance. And it changed my life. And last month, I took home £24,000 just from the digital influence method alone. That's not counting the other areas of my business. Just from the digital influence method alone, £24,000. In following the steps that I'm going to outline, you can do exactly the same. I'm going to show you how to go from A to Z and accomplish these results with the digital influence method and put this into practice yourself. Just so you can see here, some of the screenshots here at a £6,400 day on April the 21st, at a £1,159 day the day before that. And this was like, and this is what normal days look like. Basically not posting any content on these days, might post a little content and you get one that absolutely pops off. So that's like a crazy, crazy week. And that's just with one product as well, guys. That's with one product. There's have other stores that for other products that do other things. So it's absolutely nuts. You can see my socials here, and then I'm actually up to 120,000 as we record this, just slightly higher. But let's get into it, guys. So the digital influence method. So how does it actually work? So phase one is ideation. So we've got to come up with something. So we need to come up with an idea. We use a couple of techniques. So we used Ikigai, which is a Japanese technique, which we'll go through in a second, which is amazing for finding your purpose. Then we actually need to validate that idea because, yeah, it's great coming up with an idea. But like, for example, if it's like underwater basket weaving, no one's going to go for it. No one's ever going to buy anything from us. We have to validate it, making sure that it's a perfect niche that we can go into and make money from, and that we want to stick with, because we need to love the thing that we do too, as well as be good at it. Then we do a lot of research and build a brand and a plan of attack. And that leads on to phase two, which is about eyeballs. It's about optimization, getting our channels ready, basically set up as a business. Then we need to come up with the content, and then we actually need to create that content. This bit is so, so important. Eyeballs, traffic, offer, sales is what I always say. We need viral formula for our reels and our short form content that we create. Then we need to build community. And that leads into the product here in phase three, physical versus digital. Now, physical versus digital, amazing to see the difference, right? When you sell a physical product, you'd be very lucky to get 30% margins. You've got to think about storage, distribution, delivery, customers sending back someone buying size 9 and size 10, which I did the other day, and then sending that back because that one doesn't fit you. Like, you've got to deal with all of that. That's lost money that's lowered margins on the actual shoe that I kept for that same company. But when it comes to digital products, you can earn upwards of 95%. Sometimes I earn 97% margin on my products. You created it once, you sell it an infinite amount of times. It's absolutely incredible. So we go through product creation, how to use AI to help you speed these things up. So we use ChatGPT, amongst some other bits and bobs as well. Affiliate marketing to level your products up, sales pages and copy. Really simple sales pages and copy that helps sell products over and over and over and making money while we sleep. Launch sequences, so how we actually launch the products. Phase 4 is all about scaling. So we go through the funnel, where's the money, testing things, getting feedback, making our products better. And then it's about printing some money. So applying the digital influence method. When I first met Daniel, he was working silly hours inside a marketing agency running Facebook and TikTok ads for car brands. He had some idea around creating content and digital products. He'd even tried a faceless channel back in 2020, and he grew it to 20,000 followers, but he didn't have the tools and to properly monetize it and gave up. Basically, this happens a lot. People build channels and they don't know what to do with it. And that's because they didn't get the right targeting and the audience right at the beginning. They just went and created a load of content and then had tons of followers, but couldn't do anything with them. So that's really important. His job had led to bouts of burnout, constant stress, and living paycheck to paycheck with a sense of stagnation. So he's working inside this agency doing paid ads for car brands. He couldn't move up the chain at his agency there. And he was having this sense of stagnation. How many times have you heard that? Like, you're working in a job. If you take a look at your manager, do you actually want to be your manager? Like, that's really powerful. Think about that type of stuff. Like, if you actually moved up the food chain, would you actually want to be that person? A lot of the times the answer is no. Daniel was desperate to change his outlook and kickstart something that was 100% his own. So we got to work. And I'm going to outline the steps that we took with Daniel in as much detail as possible and how we got him to £5,000 in revenue in under 100 days. So here is what we did. Okay, so let's get into it, guys, shall we? So phase one is ideation. So you remember earlier I mentioned Ikigai, which is the Japanese technique. And this is to find your purpose. This is to find what you are really, really good at in life. And most importantly, what you can do and make money from it and really actually nail it. So there's 4 circles that we look to join together: what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. The exercise, you start with what you love, you make lists of what you love and what you're good at, and you look for areas within those that can connect. And then within those areas where they've connected, you find those connections and you look at what the world needs. And this is where you find the gap in the market. Okay, the world needs X, Y, and Z based on my findings from finding what I love and what I'm good at. And then what the world needs usually will kind of marry up quite nicely with what you can be paid for. As you can see there, passion, mission, profession, vocation. Think about Steve Jobs and Apple in this case, right? His passion was actually design. And then what the world needed was better and cooler computers. And finally, that people would pay for them. So his profession and his vocation was Apple and Pixar, but his real passions and his mission was to create beautiful design products. So that's why Ikigai is so powerful. And this is where in the middle, you find your purpose. So we went through and did this exercise with Daniel, and his Ikigai ended up being to help new and existing entrepreneurs to increase their business using paid ads. Okay. So really interestingly, he loved his job. He absolutely loved his job. It wasn't that he didn't like his job. He just felt that he was doing a lot of it and couldn't put the rest of it to work. He was making someone else money, right? So he was very, very good at it too. He was making lots of money for these important car brands. And when we put that together, we really realized that the world needed some to help entrepreneurs create more money. A lot of entrepreneurs were burning through their cash and when they were doing paid ads, and he could be paid for this by creating solutions for them. So that became his Ikigai. Now the problem here was obviously when we were creating this, which was very similar to his job. And this happens to a lot of people. Actually, like a lot of people go into what they're doing at work because they've had the training in it, they get good at it, and actually they really like it. So it's actually a good way to do this. So we had to create the channel without showing Daniel's face, as his boss couldn't know what he was doing. As his boss came across it, it would be probably, against company policy, and he may even get fired for that. So we had to keep it a secret. So we had to do it without showing his face. So we went into the research phase, and through our research, we found that there were niches that were exploding with walkthrough style videos, which had voiceovers over the top rather than someone talking to camera. This is something that I implement a lot in my content. I wouldn't always have to be on camera in this case, but I am on camera on my niche. But you could create walkthrough style content, basically showing someone how to do something without ever having to show your face. This meant we can create an entire ecosystem of high value content without Daniel having to be ever on camera. Really, really cool. So we then built out our customer avatars and got to work. Now, customer avatars is literally like you target that person right down. You talk to one person, right? You don't talk to millions of people when you're doing your content. You talk to one individual, just like you're having a conversation with them in a coffee shop. And when you target one person very well, it tends to be that actually you end up really getting to know that subsection of that audience. So we noticed the space was very stale in teaching entrepreneurs about paid ads. So we went for striking colors in the branding to try and switch ourselves up. So we went for deep purples, punchy fonts, and we actually gave the brand this kind of video game type feel. So it was fun, it was cool, it was striking, it was cutting through. And that's what we really went for. So next up, we had to obviously get eyeballs on the product. So the challenge was doing paid ads walkthroughs doesn't immediately scream fun. So we needed ways to develop a content strategy that was both entertaining and educational at the same time. So how do we do this? We brainstormed lots of situations, both positive and negative, plus listed out hundreds of problems that newbies and entrepreneurs would actually face when they got into paid ads. The main fear that we tapped into was about losing all of your money and making nothing. Obviously, the problem for people is that that's highly embarrassing, right? If you lose all your marketing budget on, paid ads and you make nothing back from it, it's pretty embarrassing. So negativity is very powerful here. So we came up with a series of content that created 20 examples of where if you did this, it would go wrong. We called it paid ad bloopers. So we had paid ad bloopers part 1, part 2, part 3. And the negative side of the strategy actually ends up turning into a positive as the viewer knows what not to do and then what to do at the same time. This wasn't enough though, as we're going to need some variation to the content. We can't just be putting out walkthroughs and expecting our channel to do well. So we usually try and find another 2, sometimes 3 more content types to fit into the strategy. So one being 7 to 10 second, very short problem-based videos, which are very easy to create. You can literally do them where you sit down at a table, open a laptop out. You could be like picking up your phone, you could be walking through a door. There are so many easy ways of doing this. It's just a small piece of B-roll footage. We put a hook on screen, so we've got a visual hook of opening the laptop, which signifies you're getting to work, for example. Hook on screen with a bit of text, so we have the hook-based text, and then read the caption. So simple to create. And then we had another one being case studies of businesses that had implemented paid ads and seen their business skyrocketed. So this provided trust that Daniel knew that he was talking about. We had 3 different areas, 3 different content types, and we created those in them. Obviously, the walkthroughs are a lot harder and a lot longer to create. So, that was taking him full up to the 90 minutes. But then these 7 to 10 videos, he could knock out 3 or 4 within the 90 minutes very easily. And so we could create a whole week's worth of strategy of content very, very easily within the 90 minutes a day target that we had. So content creation. So Daniel had some experience checking over video ads, and this certainly helps speed up the process, but ads are very different to short form videos in the way that they connect with the audience. So we really had to level up his filming and his editing and his copywriting. So Daniel had an iPhone 13 Pro, which is actually everything that you need here. You don't need loads of fancy kit. You don't need to spend hundreds of pounds on cameras. And we introduced DaVinci Resolve, which is also free to use for editing. What he did purchase was a £60 mic for the voiceovers. And then because he was also paranoid about his voice being heard as well, he knew people in the industry may recognize him. Even though it was highly unlikely, he was very paranoid about that. So there was a simple solution for this too. We pitched down his voice an octave in the edit. So it had a little bit of a deeper voice, basically, than necessarily was his. And what this did is because it had the video game feel, it had like even more mystery to it. So it was kind of cool. And it really worked. Now, we obviously had to like go viral here within his niche to create some traffic, but going viral doesn't always mean millions of views. Like people will look at viral and think, well, yeah, 10, 20 million views. It varies massively by niche. Now, Daniel's niche is obviously extremely targeted down. It's like marketing, digital marketing, and then paid ads. It's like a sub niche of a sub niche. And that is often where it's really great to start. But Daniel needed extremely targeted. So viral for him is actually only looking like 100 to 200,000 views on a video. Now, to do this, we needed 3 key elements to his videos. We need a strong hook, which entices the viewer and makes them want to find out what's going to happen in the videos. The negative videos are great here because, people love like, oh, this is going to go wrong. I want to find out why, because the viewer immediately wanted to see what was going to happen, right? Like if we're telling them that something's going to go wrong or someone's going to lose money at some point within this video, no matter what niche you're in, people love that type of stuff. But a strong hook is so important. You've got to grab them in the first 2 to 3 seconds of that video. Then we had quick, sharp, snappy edits, which kept the video moving. It didn't have awkward pauses. So we cut out things like breath and, ers and ums naturally happen when you record. And we took the video on a journey. Videos needed a beginning, a middle, and an end, or as I usually say, a payoff. You've got to give the audience a payoff, and usually a payoff within the video is what they're waiting for. And this is what keeps them hooked in throughout the video. So you've hooked them in with a strong hook at the start of the video, and the promise of a payoff later on in the video is what keeps them watching, because watch time is so important. It's not about likes, it's not about comments anymore. It's really about watch time and keeping people on the platform. And a call to action. We needed to get the viewer to take some action after actually watching the video. And this could be as simple as follow me for more or read the caption for further info. Those are the two ones that we tend to use. We planned and scripted over 10 videos for Daniel so he got into the groove of what it took to make a viral video. Now, a quick tip for you guys listening to this, spend a bit of time in the niche and create content that has already gone viral. Almost copy it in many of a way. Don't put it out, but make the actual video almost step by step exactly how that creator has done it. And this can really help level up your editing and what it takes to actually make a viral video. Now, I also spent time converting his sales-minded copy, which he's been using for ads, into more educational, free-flowing, story-based copy, which is what you put in the captions, because your captions are very important too. You want to keep them on your post for as long as possible. So then we went live with Daniel's content. Okay, so we had to get Daniel's content live. We optimized his channel, and so it showcased him as a good person to listen to in the space. This is really simple. First line of your bio needs to be 5 words, exactly what you do. You can have a look at mine. Mine's helping Britain get financially fit. Couldn't nail it any closer if I possibly tried. So we have to have something up there. And it could just be, I help blank do blank. It's a really great one. You can just use that for free. And this is how we showcase you. Then the next is social proof. Then we add a call to action. That's really how you optimize your bio. You need nice images, you need your name, and you need the bio and the actual handle to be punchy without loads of points and punctuation in it. And then we added story highlights. So an about section is really important there. And we want to have like, I'm Daniel, I do X, Y, and Z. And we want to kind of show that we're a real person as much as possible. So about sections, things that we've done. So if you see on mine, I have like reviews, podcast. Obviously, not everybody's got a podcast, but as you do more and as you launch more products, you can add highlights so people know that you're actually a real person. So we added story highlights, yes. And then we launched with 6 videos in the first 48 hours. It's really important because we wanted the page to have some traction. So we put out 3 videos a day for the first 48 hours. That's why we pre-batched a lot of content and worked on the editing side of it so we could really capitalize on the new account syndrome that Instagram has. And this is where this opportunity goes wild. So if you get your content right, I've seen lots of accounts recently where the second or third or fourth video has gone massively viral. It's changed the game. It's not about having hundreds of thousands of followers anymore. You can have a really tiny account that can absolutely explode because it's all about how good the content is. And this is why we really work on the editing and getting your content up to speed first before we launch the channel. It's not about rushing it in this case. Getting this bit right up front will serve you later down the line. Then it's about consistency. We put out 1 reel a day, and Daniel's account very quickly started to get some traction due to the content variety that we had and the work that we've done up front. We made some tweaks to improve the hooks and the edits, but because we'd done deep research and had our target audience nailed down, it didn't take long for the algorithm to find the right people for the content. Now, community is massively important. Then once his following was growing, it's vital to start building relationships with your followers. Your followers are like your best friends, especially when you have under 500 followers. Start to DM some of your new followers and have a chat. Have a chat like you would with actual people. Find out their problems. Offer to jump on a few 20-minute Zoom calls. Now, this is about 2 things. You need to build relationships. So you build a little cult of following of about 50 to 100 individuals who will champion your content every time it comes out. This helps the channel grow and feeds the algorithm. They react, they like, and they watch the whole video. It's a good signals when you put out content that your channel is worthy of watching and that video is worthy of being shown to lots more people. Instagram like this type of stuff. So having a little core cult following is a massive, massive thing. So spend some time, get to know people. And also the second thing is gather the data from these conversations, as real life problems means more content ideas and equally better informs your digital products, making them absolutely unrivaled. I can't stress the importance of this. This is where your stuff becomes like untouchable. So not many people do this. So this is something you can implement right away. Now, phase 3 is obviously products. Now, this is where the juicy stuff happens and we start making some money. So product creation, based on the conversations Daniel was having and the knowledge of the space, we created a beginner's guide to paid ads. This was a simple 24 to 48 hour job, and we used Canva to make it look nice, which is free to use. The paid version is like $12.99, the pro version, sorry. And that is literally incredible. For $12.99 to knock out a product, pretty cool. It's got thousands of templates. It's so easy to use. I use it every day in my business. Canva's wicked. This was so simple for Daniel to knock out in a weekend. We did some research into competitor pricing and found that £47 was a good starting price. We called it paid ads for dummies, go from 0 to hero in under 3 hours. So giving them a time frame and a payoff is also really good. And obviously paid ads for dummies, we're utilizing the for dummies phenomenon that went kind of viral a few years ago, but people relate to that quite quickly. It's a text-based guide. So this isn't like something with tons of videos recorded like a course. This is a guide. It's text-based guides. And we put simple screenshots of him doing stuff and walking through. We put a few checklists in there. We had a handful of infographics, which he actually paid someone on Fiverr for. I think he paid them like 10 quid to create some infographics, like super worth it. And then we had this guide knocked up in 48 hours. Now, to be able to create a product in one weekend, we did need the help. We did need some help. So we obviously talked about paying someone £10 on Fiverr to create some infographics, but AI is where we can really help speed things up. I call it the cream of the crop. So the extra 20% on top. We use targeted prompts on ChatGPT. So the more information you give ChatGPT, you don't just ask it, make me an outline for this product, right? You give it a lot of information. I'm creating a paid ad guide about X, Y, and Z. It's for beginners. Here's my target audience. Here's how I would like it to flow and speak. Here's my experience. Here's my brand name. All of these things, right? So the more information you give it, the better it spits stuff out. So we ask it to develop the perfect outline for the product. Obviously, Daniel had written out everything in bullet points. So we ask it to turn these bullet points into full actual sections. We then asked, was there anything missing from our product that we could help to improve it? It was incredible what it gave back. We missed quite a few little bits and bobs within there that Daniel never even thought about. We asked it to rewrite sections in Daniel's tone of voice. So what we did, Daniel wrote the intro for this. So it was in his tone and his style of voice. And where we got it to write the full sections up before, we rewrote those sections. We said, here's my Daniel's tone of voices. Learn this. Make sure you understand this is how Daniel speaks. Now rewrite this section based on this tone of voice, and it will do it, and it will really nail it. It gets it close. You do need to go back through it and add a few little bits and bobs, but it will get it very, very close. It's bulk of the work done up front for you here. Now, we also use the inbuilt feature DALL-E to create quality AI images as well to help level it up and take the production up and up. Using AI like this means that Daniel, all that he needed to do was create the sections in bullet points with key informations, and then AI created solid drafts, which he can then go back in and add that cream on top, that special sauce to make the product even more special. And you can see the value of how this helped out here. And so it's very much like in tandem with AI, you can create these bits of content, these amazing digital products really, really easily. Now, the 47 price point it's not small change, but we wanted to increase the value of the product with each sale. To do this, we needed to find a selection of affiliates that would be useful for paid ads. This included software and even things like Daniel's tech stack list, i.e. like his computer screens, the mouse that he uses to be faster. People wanted to be more like Daniel. We make them want to be more like Daniel. They've already bought our product, so we want them to kind of have more opportunities. Now, the commission from these products, especially the software, which is incredible, had monthly recurring revenue. So the software was £50 a month, and Daniel got £10 a month from that. So that created monthly recurring revenue from him here. If that person signed up for the year, there's 120 quid coming to Daniel from one person if they signed up to that piece of software. A lot of people do. So it can turn a low ticket digital product like £47 into a much higher value. Some of the value Daniel was getting out of these was turning up to be like 80, 90 pounds. So he's turning and almost doubling the price of a sale here with one digital product just by adding affiliate links. So affiliate links, anyone that doesn't know, you click it, you are suggesting a brand, so a bit of software. Amazon have them for products, and then you get a small percentage changes per provider every time they make a sale on that thing. So you're referring people on and making money from it as commission. So once Daniel had his products, we then wanted to get some feedback on it, because we don't just want to go live at that point. We want to ideally get some testimonials as well to help with the launch sequence. So we actually dived back into the community. Remember, we were building relationships before, and we were offering a free version of the product in exchange for some feedback. If they liked it, we asked them for a review, so a testimonial in this case. And if they had feedback, we changed it to the product to ensure that we were covering everyone's issues here. And this gave us a bulletproof product that we knew would knock it out the park. As long as we had to do now was get it out there. So for the launch, we built basic but effective landing page with some explainer copy on stand.store. Now, this is so simple to set up, but we needed to make sure that Daniel was covering the pain points in the product that he was solving and what was included in the product. It's not that difficult to do this. And again, you can use a bit of AI to help you out here too. And a good thing to do is go and look at lots of other people's and take the good bits that they do well. Now, Daniel added some cover art, which took him 20 minutes on Canva to create, plus added the testimonials that he'd got from his community. We then uploaded the product and ran a few tests with the community to see what they thought. By this time, Daniel had 3 or 4 people that he could really lean on, that he was chatting to a lot. And this feedback was absolutely invaluable at this stage. This is where you really level things up. Now, product launch sequences, the launch around a product is very important. You don't just want to suddenly say, hey, look, this is for sale, as you'll not likely get much traction and you'll miss out of thousands of pounds. Trust me on this. You want to have a minimum of 1,000 product followers before releasing anything to ensure that you put the time that you put in at least generates you some revenue in the bank. With Daniel, we documented the entire product building process too, and we involved our followers along the way. This is such a cool way to get more buy-in. We ran poll-based stories on the name. So, what name do you think is best for this? The cover art, the contents inside of it, what would you add? Asked questions, and we got the audience involved, and they got to buy into the product before it even come out. And obviously by now they know that this is coming, and they're emotionally invested in it by helping you with the process. On the lead up, we put out 2 to 3 stories a day targeting different problems that the actual product faced and our audience faced, and we teased the product launch. We also kept up the 1 reel a day, meaning we had huge streams of new eyeballs coming onto the channel too. Daniel's content was improving on every single video. He had 1 video go semi-viral that brought in over 1,000 new followers. Then the week of, we let them know that it was actually coming on this day. This is coming out Sunday, 9 o'clock, whatever that might well be. And we built up some excitement around the launch. And then on the day of the launch, we offered 48-hour 20% discount to everyone that we knew from the DM chat. So everyone that had been helping us out, or we'd have a little bit of interaction with, we went one-on-one and we gave them 20%. And we had a 10% public facing one. This called for urgency around the product. So the 10% one, live for 48 hours, that's it, it's going away, it's never coming back. It made people have kind of a scarcity mindset that they knew that, made people a bit more urgent to buy. The results were incredible, and Daniel, with 2,400 followers at this point, sold 46 copies, which made him just over £1,900 in 48 hours in the second month of his program. So we took the time to contact the buyers of the product before, because this is post-launch. This is really important to get some further feedback. So everyone that bought that we didn't know, because there'll be lots of people that we didn't know, we built all of that feedback and asked for testimonials, which the good ones, and obviously we built into our sales page. We also made some improvements to the product, and then that help us made some plans to scale it up even further and launch even more products here. So phase 4 is the funnel. Now we obviously had a product for scale. We switched our content strategy slightly away from follower growth and moved into sales cycles. We didn't do this with all of Daniel's content, but we had a ratio out of 3 to 7 that were designed to sell more products. This meant we had sales coming in and the channel was continuing to grow. Using some of my sales tactics and simple automation tools, we simply watched what type of video was bringing in the most sales. Then we doubled down on this type of content to help push the product that we had. Daniel's sales, when we did this, because we're leaning into the data here, quickly began to skyrocket. You can remember, he went from just under 2 grand to the 5 grand and then continued to grow. That's because of this. When your channel grows, so does the trust in your products as well. So this is why it's important to keep growing followers whilst continually selling along the way. You can do a tandem strategy. When you do that, we kept up the problem-based strategy, the story strategy as well, alongside the videos, but also started to put some more lifestyle content into the stories. We want him to make him appear more human. And this is really important when you're doing faceless stuff, because his face is not in the content. So, and his voice sounded different. So we had to get them to resonate with him a little bit more. Then it's all about rinsing and repeating this over and over and over and ensuring the content was improving along the way. More eyeballs on meant more cash in the bank. Right now, it is never, ever been this easy to go viral on Instagram accounts in 2024. Traffic into offer equals cash. And it is this simple. You just have to get the content right. Okay, so Daniel realized what was possible literally after our first session. He was already burnt out from his 9 to 5 and had a couple of hours spare a day, so we had to make it count. Daniel went to just over £5,000 a month in 100 days using the digital influence method, and he was spending less than 90 minutes a day on his content. Since then, he's grown it even further and is projecting £7,500 in revenue this month. He's now in the process of launching a second product and has got plans to launch a new channel in collaboration with his girlfriend, who has to get a piece of this. I'm not surprised, guys. I'm not surprised. Daniel has no plans to quit his job yet, interestingly. And the reason is because this second stream of income is giving him such a springboard towards financial freedom. Now, although he's told me that he probably will end up leaving his job along the cards, the bigger he grows this, the more money he makes. It's that simple. It's actually nuts when you think about it, because he could literally do so many mad things. He's already got people reaching out for him for one-on-one coaching. He's already got people saying, can you just take on my paid ads for me? So now he could end up creating his own agency out of this. The potential for him is mental. He's got courses he can create, so many different things. And this is really important. When we go through the research phase, we want to try and learn create a pathway of products that we can actually launch to, easy ones. And then as we grow in the space and we learn more and we get a bigger community, more data, we can then feed that into our bigger products and our bigger launches. Okay, so how can I help you? So if you're a busy 9 to 5er, an entrepreneur or content creator, or a stay-at-home mum, and you're looking to build something that's 100% your own with complete creative control, you want to build a multi-6-figure business whilst working on your own schedule. You want to work from anywhere in the world with just a smartphone, a laptop, and Wi-Fi. What will help you do is build up to £5,000 a month in revenue in under 180 days. So we can get you similar results to Daniel in a fraction of the time it would take to do it yourself. In fact, we're so confident we can do this. If we don't get you there on time, we'll work with you for nothing until we do. So if you want similar results to Daniel, plus want the same level of training and guidance to ensure results, hit the link in the description below and book a call in either with myself or my team. And if it's a good fit, we can talk about how we can work together. Worst case scenario, if it isn't a good fit, we'll just point you in the right direction. Okay, so I look forward to speaking with you soon. And it's been Sammy. Peace out, guys.